Share the Knowledge Live, Share the Knowledge Live, Share the Knowledge Live, episode 62. What's going on? I'm your host, DJ TLM, broadcasting live from Amsterdam. This is my weekly Q&A for DJs. I'm going to wait for the people to come in. In the meantime, shout out to Gail Coker, Leonzo, Earchill. No, let me say that right. Yeah, I did say it right, I think. Perry Johnson from Cape Town, South Africa. And Le Bodi Manet from Cameroon. Salute to y'all. What's going on? DJ Waves. What's up? What's up? I'm still here. Stone, big up. Like I said, Share the Knowledge, episode 62. Weekly DJ Q&A. You can ask me any DJ-related questions. Sometimes I might have questions for you. And we're here to learn. And I literally mean we. I learn a lot every week from your questions, suggestions, and answers. So this is always fun. DJI, you're. And what else? No, that's it. That's good. Like I said, waiting for the people to come in. We're on YouTube, we're on Twitch, we're on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Mixcloud. I think that's everything right now. Not adding Instagram because I don't want to have a phone next to me. The chat is just way too fast. So God's Own, what up? I mean, for me, that's an easy answer. So the question is what I like better, BeatSource Link or Beatport Link? Well, I don't use Beatport Link, and the reason is I really don't play a lot of house music. If you're into house, Beatport and Beatport Link would be a great solution. But for me, BeatSource makes a lot more sense since it's aimed at the open format DJ and they do have the genres that I play. And Darrell, salute. Stone wants to know, how come I never hear some soca mix tutorials? I really wouldn't know. So I don't play soca. I do know DJs who play soca. I mean, there's a limited amount of DJs who actually produce educational content. I mean, there's quite a few channels, but if you see it in the whole, overall, it's just a couple of DJs out here on the internet providing information. And I don't think there's DJs within that group that really play a lot of soca, but I can't be 100% sure. I would never speak about that because I don't play it and I have no knowledge of the specifics that go into playing soca, because different genres do have different, let's call it rules, guidelines. When you mix in and mix out, how long you leave tracks, that's all going to be different. So I don't know. I think DJ Puffy is someone who should do a tutorial like that. DJ Wiz with that subscription, I appreciate that. And Gil Coker asks what type of mixer I use. Well, I use a bunch of different mixers, especially if you watch my live streams. I like to use different equipment. But for me, I use scratch mixers most of the times. In the clubs also, I work a lot with the club mixers, mainly Pioneer's DJM 900 Nexus 2. I have a 900 Nexus. No, not a 900 Nexus. I have the 900 SRT, which is the same type of club mixer, but made for Serato. But I've always preferred scratch mixers. Now, if you don't know what a scratch mixer is, it is a DJ mixer, but they have changed the layout a little bit to accommodate the turntablists and scratch DJs. So if you take a look at a mixer, if the mixer has a crossfader section where there's basically just a crossfader and not a lot of extra knobs and switches around that crossfader, so that part of the real estate on the mixer is empty, those are mostly the scratch mixers. Because I can scratch on, for instance, the 900 Nexus 2. I can even do some turntablism tricks. But when you have a mixer like that, on both sides of the crossfader, you have knobs, you have fader assign knobs, you have all sorts of things going on. And I have accidentally bumped into a lot of those while attempting turntablism on a mixer like that. With a scratch mixer, that won't happen. You'll have the top part that will have the channel strip. So you have your EQ, your gain. Maybe it has an effects section. And below that, on the newer mixers, we have the performance pads. And once you get underneath that, there's basically nothing except for crossfader. And maybe far on the outsides, like far to the left, far to the right, there might be something going on, but mostly they keep it empty. I have the Pioneer DJM S9. I have the Rain 72. And I have a Reloop Elite. I also have some of my older mixers, and then we're getting into the Vestax side of things. And I have the 05, the 05 and an 07, and the 05 Pro Mark IV. Now, I have to add to that, I don't think any of those except for the Mark IV still work, but I did keep some of those just because I have a lot of memories with those mixers. Netfa, Mike, excuse me, Netfa, I send you some soca tracks. Well, you don't have to send me soca tracks. I mean, I just don't play soca. I can get my hands on it. I really just don't play it. DJ Z, salute. And Detroit only Southern Soul DJ, big up, big up. So DJ Waves wants to know if I've tried tone play. If so, what's the best way to make a tone play? Through software like Ableton or through hot cues? Well, if you're doing it during a DJ set, hot cues, well, you're not using hot. You can use hot cues, but on a lot of mixers, they will activate like the pitch. My mind is it's slipping my mind for a second. Wait a minute. Let me get back to that. Let me start with the first part of the question. Have you tried tone play? I have, and usually I don't use it. I think tone play can be a great thing. I also think think most of the DJs that I see use tone play don't do it right. And I don't like to listen to that. So what you'll see a lot of DJs do is they'll take a song, and that song might have a melody or a tone. Okay. That was I think that was R2D2 who took a plunge off my mixtapes, but it's okay. So a lot of DJs will take a piece of a record, set a couple of cue points in there on the different tones, or they'll use a pitch for that, and then they'll play a couple of those tones. And yes, you can hear what they're playing, but it's not the right key. So they'll play it. It's most of the times they'll keep it simple, so it's pretty obvious what they're playing. And once they played it a couple of times, then they'll hit a cue point on the other side and go to that track, the track that they were actually trying to perform. And then you'll hear the difference in key. And to me, that doesn't sound good at all. Sometimes you'll see people use tone play and they're doing it in the correct key. And then when they switch to the track that they're emulating, they can continue to play while that new track is playing, and they can play together because they're in the same key. That's beautiful. But again, since I'm playing freestyle, a lot of times that's just not going to happen while you're freestyling. That's something you do have to prepare, and I just don't play like that a lot. Soca has short intros with an average of like 4 bars. Yeah, there's a difference right there. And DJ TLM, you said you record your mixes one track at a time. Can you elaborate on that? I'm always doing one take and restart if I make a mistake. So it depends on what I'm doing. So for instance, today I'm in the studio again and I'm recording my next radio mix. I have my weekly mix show on the radio, Galaxy Radio. The URL is right there on the screen, glxy.radio, every Saturday and Sunday. Saturday is a replay from last week. Sunday is the new show. At the moment, I'm not doing it live in the studio because it is in a different city. Right now, this is the best way. I'm pre-recording that mix. When I'm recording that mix, I basically do one take style. But if there's anything that didn't go well enough, I'll stop, rewind the track a little bit, start from there and continue. And afterwards, I'll have a recording and I just need to make two cuts. I'll cut right before I made the mistake and then make a cut at the exact same point of the track where I continued. And then I'll have a mix. If I'm making a mixtape, a lot of times I will do track by track. For that radio show, I do want to have that live feel. When you're recording track by track, it is not going to have the exact same feel. But just to explain track by track real quick, you'll take recording software, could be any type of recording software. I've done mixtapes, I've recorded mixtapes in Audition, Cubase, Logic, and a bunch of other software. Anything that allows you to record multi-track, because you'll need a couple of different tracks. So let's say we'll take track 1. I will have an idea of what I'm playing. I'll start with track 1. Now, I do have to think about how I would mix. So let's say I'll play track 1 and I already decided I'm going to do the transition part at the second chorus. So I'll play the track, record that track. And when I get to the second chorus, this is the way I do it. I adjust my EQ as if I'm mixing the track. So I already decided the next track I'm going to bring in, first 4 bars, I'm going to have the bass out. Second 4 bars, I'm bringing the bass in. Okay, so on the first track, I'm recording. It comes to the second chorus. The first half of that chorus, I leave the bass in because I already decided the new track is going to be bass out. Then after 4 bars, I take out the bass. And then when I get to the end of that chorus, I'll hit the echo or something like that. Okay, I can hit stop. I can go back a little bit to right before the chorus. I make sure the next track is in the same tempo. Hit record on a second track. And then it gets to that hook part. And I bring in that second track. First without the bass. And after 4 bars, I add the bass. And then I play that track. Now, I also know in my head how long I'm going to play that second track and record that until I get to the transition part and do something with that. It takes time, but I have 2 choices if I want to record a mixtape and I want to make it sound as good as possible. Either I plan out the entire mix and I have to practice it, or I'll just record track by track, but I do have to decide how I want to mix every track. Is it more work than just doing a one-take recording? Yes, it is. But when I do mixtapes, I want to make these, I want to give you the best listening experience. So I really want to make sure I focus on the levels, on the transition, make everything sound as good as possible. And for the radio mixes, that's not as important. I want it to sound really good, but I do want it to, I think the live feel is important for that. Having said all of this, I have not recorded a mixtape in years, I think. So I'm not sure if I would do a mixtape again. I'm not even sure if I'm going to use that same tactic or take a different approach. So I don't see myself making a mixtape anytime soon. I just don't have time for it. But that is how I used to do the track by track recording. I hope that makes at least a bit of sense. You'll need to do a lot of looping to rest in a mix. For Soca, that is. Got you. Chris on the mix. What's going on? Leonzo, what's the name of the program you said would allow me to transfer playlists from DJ on iPad to iTunes? Can you send the link? Let me think. Playlist from the DJ on the iPad to iTunes. I didn't name a program. I think Mixmaster G named the program because I don't remember naming something. I remember you asked the question a couple of times, and I mean you have conversion tools to do these sort of things. I'm currently experimenting with Lexicon, and that is one. But you can also check out Mixmaster G's conversion tools if you're on Mac. So it depends if you're on Mac or not. So I'm not sure. And you said if I can send a link to your email. I don't have your email. So send me an email, tlm@djtlm.com. Send me an email, and I'll at least give you the links of what I know. Joel, what's going on? And DJ I says, I recently ran into a problem with a club that did not pay me on time. What advice can you give to ensure that venues pay you timely? Contracts? I mean, it all depends on where you are. In certain areas, contracts are just the normal way to go. A contract does give you some guarantees. So if that is how they work, that would be great. Whenever, because here in the Netherlands, in my scene, we did not really work with contracts a lot. So in my case, because I've been in your situation a couple of times, especially in my beginning days when I wasn't working with invoices yet, I was getting paid cash. Um, and even when I started to do invoices, I was still getting paid on the spot. I've had my share of searching the club for the promoter to get paid after a gig. And yeah, a couple of stories like that. Not that many, but it has happened to me. Nowadays, I basically only work with invoices and bank transfers, and I only, for the most part, work with clients that I'm familiar with. And in that case, I don't have to worry about it. What I did do with a couple of gigs when I was still getting paid cash is I would let them know, like, hey, I want the payment before I go on stage. That way, you at least have a little bit of leverage because if I get to the venue and they don't have the money, then they don't have the DJ. It would be better if you can get at least a deposit in advance, or if possible, getting paid in advance. And most of the times, you will have to sign a contract because a promoter wouldn't want to just send a DJ money without having something on paper. But I mean, those are options. So it kind of depends on how they work in your area. But a contract can help, even if you don't work with a contract, trying to get paid in advance, or if they don't pay it in advance, but they pay on the night, make sure in advance you do tell them that you need your payment before you do your gig. That way you won't have to wait for your money. Jamie Dean, aka DJ Big Dean, salute. And Smooth D in the building. What up? What up? And Joel says, my PMC 05 still works. I dope. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think my Mark IV is the only one that still works. But to be honest, even if my older ones did work, like when it comes to the sound quality, the Vestax mixers were not that great. I remember bringing my Vestax mixer to the club a lot back in the days and standing next to DJs who were playing on the Pioneer Club mixers. And the Pioneer Club mixers didn't even have like the best audio available compared to like certain Allen Heath mixers and stuff like that. But my Vestax did not sound as good as the club mixers. So I don't think I would take that to a club anymore. Perry Johnson says, when practicing my scratching, why do I always end up doing the same cuts every time? Very familiar. Even if I do start off with a different type of scratch, I always end up doing the same thing over and over. I mean, it has to do with muscle memory and our comfort zone. That is an issue I deal with as well, especially when I'm doing freestyle scratches. I'll catch myself returning to same patterns a lot. It happens a lot. So, I mean, I think the only way to get out of that is to actually do practice sessions where you just practice a particular technique until you master it to the point that you're incorporating it into your patterns and make that a part of your regular patterns. If I have scratches that I know a little bit, I might attempt one or two, and before I know it, I'm already doing something I normally do again. So I totally feel where you're coming from, and I think that is the way to go. Just specifically practice one single technique. Don't allow yourself to do something else. Just repeat one technique until you get like at least good enough at it so that you can add it in. Once you get comfortable doing it, you'll most likely start to add it to the other techniques that are in your comfort zone. All right, you're going to see me doing this a bunch. I need to find a different chair, yo. It's getting crazy. Every week, the same thing. Official DJ Heron from Ethiopia. We have a DJ community, Addis Ababa DJ community. The big problem is in hard to get controller and payment, music site because and we don't have access for credit cards. Um, I mean, I've received messages before. I think from Ethiopia as well, but I don't know if it's just a problem in Ethiopia, but that it was harder to get your hands on equipment, and even online. So I'm not sure how that works over there. And since I don't even know how it works over there, I don't see how I could help. Um, you are talking about that you don't have access to credit cards. I do know like a lot of sites nowadays also take other type of payments. So even if you don't have credit card, there are other payment options. So maybe one of those is an option, something like PayPal or I believe there's more. But again, I don't know how it is there. I just know I don't think there's anything I can do to help. Garanga, what's going on? And Billy Remix says uses transfer my playlists. And let's see, Daryl Fuentes replying to Netfa Miller. Just sent you a message so you can discuss soca and DJing. That's dope. Connect, 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 and share that knowledge. And have you played a bit with the Denon Prime 2 and 4? No, not at all. Not at all. I've never had my hands on the Prime 2, Prime 4, Rain 1. Look, in music, and I mean, not as if they're watching, but I'm going to put you on the spot. Like, they were supposed to send me a couple of things, and that hasn't happened yet. And maybe we can make that work in the future. Mixmaster G is here as well. Maybe some of you checked us out yesterday. Yesterday, I was a guest during Mixmaster G's weekly AMA every Tuesday at 7. So if you haven't checked that out, especially if you have questions about, Leonzel, especially for you, make sure you check out Mixmaster G on those Tuesdays because he can tell you anything about any of his conversion tools because there's a lot of different ones. He is the tractor expert. So any tractor questions, I mean, I know nothing about tractor. Mixmaster G is that guy. Jarvis, salute to you. Leonzo, TLM at DJTLM.com. That is very simple. TLM at DJTLM.com. And the funny thing is, my contact is available everywhere. My contact is available on, I think, all of my social media profiles, on my website, you name it. DJ Polo, what up? What up? Nara, what's going on? Salute. And Darrell Teasdale with the question, my favorite sounding scratch is Transformer, but I have a very difficult time with it. It's like tapping my head and rubbing my stomach simultaneously. Uh, I mean, that is the thing with a lot of different scratches, though. You're going to have combinations of platter and fader movement that need to go together, even though you're doing different movements on both. Uh, that being said, with the transformer, especially when you're practicing it, you can start out like with the most basic movement. I mean, you still have to do two different movements, but you could actually just do a slow back and forth movement with the platter while you're working on the tapping and how to do that. Then again, there should be tutorials online that aren't scratch tutorials, but those are basically uh, hand coordination techniques. They exist. Talked about it yesterday with Mixmaster G. Since I started with drumming before I ever DJ'd, I was already used to the fact that two hands can be doing two different things that work together to create one rhythm. Like a lot of times when you're drumming, one hand is doing the hi-hat. And I'm not even talking about the feet because the feet are also part of the process, but one hand is doing a hi-hat while that other hand is hitting that snare. Now, they're part of the same rhythm, but they're doing different things. And like I said, I just talk about the hands now. When you're doing that, you also have one foot that's doing the kick drum, and the other foot is opening and closing your hi hat. So those 2 feet are doing two different things as well. I normally don't even mention that, but you have four limbs doing four things, but they all work together. So for me, it was never an issue when I started DJing because yeah, that just felt natural. But then again, I still have to practice techniques to learn them, and some are trickier than others to get the hang of. When I first started to practice the normal way to practice a flare, that was causing me issues as well because you do have to get used to the movement that you have to perform. Because before that, I do a flare, but it's not the way you normally practice it, and I just started to do it by accident, so I never learned it the way that you're supposed to practice it. But now that I want to learn it with my other hand, I'm struggling like crazy to get that right. So for the transformers, same thing. Like you can look up tutorials, and there should be tricks to work on that to do different things with your hands. And beyond that, just when it comes to the transformer, just start as basic as possible because a lot of people, when they want to start transforming, they want to get straight into separating the sound into like 1,000 pieces. So transforming, okay, tap, 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 tap. Just start with a basic holding your hand on the platter on your way forward, giving it just 2 taps. Tap, tap. Then slowly bring it back. Tap, 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 tap. Just start with that. Once that starts to feel comfortable, do that faster until you can do tap, 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 nonstop. Then slow it down a little bit again. Tap, tap, tap. 3. And slowly back. 3. You need to absolutely start slow. And that's a problem. I'm not saying you do or don't do that because I haven't seen you practice, but I just know a lot of people, when they want to start doing something, they just go full speed straight away. And you need to slow it down a lot. Make it super basic and then gradually add on to it. Mohammed, what's going on? Salute from all the way from Spain. Let's see. Did I miss anything here? For scratching, what slip mats do you use? I bought the Scratch Dr. Suzuki, but they stick so much so the vinyl. Oh, the letters are having a little issue here, I see. I don't use any specific slip mats. Uh, I think most of the slip mats I have are just generic slip mats with a brand on it. So I have some Beat Street slip mats. I have some Carhartt slip mats. I have Technics slip mats. I have some Pioneer slip mats. I have a ton of different slip mats from another record store, and those aren't special. So the only thing I knew is I wanted to make sure they weren't too thick. And beyond that, I never paid too much attention to it. And if I had a slip mat that just felt like, hey, the record somehow isn't moving the way it normally does, then maybe it's too thick and I'll change it. But for the most, I've just had different slip mats that I used for years until maybe I found a new cool one and then I started to use it. And I was just looking at how cool it looked and not anything else. Never bought special butter rugs or anything like that. Oh, here we go. DJI, do you have any advice on transitioning from being paid a percentage of the bar sales to making nightly guaranteed minimum? Been playing a bar that only pays a percentage, and I've had slow nights reflected in the paycheck. Well, I don't have specific advice. I mean, communication is important. If you tell me that that's the way they always do it, it might be harder to get into switch. If you know that certain DJs do get a guaranteed minimum, then maybe that can work for you too. That's hard for me. I mean, I've been in positions where I organized events and like getting a percentage of the door and or bar was part of the deal, but not as a DJ. I've never DJ'd and dependent on the bar. So it's yeah, that's a tricky one. Anyone in the chat have any experience with this? We can use the input on that one. Is it sufficient to not have an external mixer for live sets and basic in studio setups? Is it sufficient to not have an external mixer for live sets? So live sets, we're talking live streaming? If we're talking live streaming, I rarely do anything with like external mixers. I'm just using the DJ set and go straight from the DJ set into an audio interface, or in this case, my ATA Mini Pro. So I'm not sure if that is what you meant, but if it is, yes. Is DJ Mixmaster G on YouTube? Yes, he has a YouTube channel as well. But he's here in the chat right now. So on Twitch, Mixmaster GNL. I'm not sure if the NL is also there on YouTube. Maybe I can check, or maybe he can let us know. Oh, here he is. Okay. Oh, so he's on Twitch, but he has a YouTube channel. Stone says, I don't know why, but when I practice scratches, I can only come up with my own pattern and hardly what you guys do. That's never a problem. So, we all do. I mean, I can only speak for myself. I can't say we. I do my own patterns, and it's freestyle. So you learn certain techniques, and the more techniques you learn, the more different patterns you're going to be able to do. But I've never like studied patterns from other DJs, even though you have certain DJs out. Like I know DJ Andy has a lot of videos where he's actually showing you different patterns. I now have a tutorial series where I show patterns that I've done in my Saturday sessions videos. But beyond that, just practice the techniques and patterns. You can create your own patterns. It's doper if you create your own patterns. Is there any free software attentive like Mixed Key 10? Maybe, not that I know, but I haven't ever looked for that. So you're looking for free software to analyze your music so you can get the key? Because if that is what you're looking for, I have to believe that there's a couple of the DJ software systems out there that have the free version, and that free version will allow you to analyze the song so you can get that key information, but I'm not sure. So is it just because you want to get the key information? That was a question from DJ Heron. And JS Rock, what's going on? JS Rock wants to know, let's see, I want him to get back into spinning actual vinyl. I'm back with vinyl on Monday, by the way. I was pricing needles and the G-code replacements for that N447 are crazy expensive. I was wondering if you had a reference on some needles that have good pickup and are good for forward and back spins as well as scratching. I mean, you just named the needles I'm currently using, and I'm very, very happy with those. I have not checked the recent price, so I have no idea how much they cost now. Before that, I was using Ortofon needles, but I have no idea what their price is right now. So I'm not sure. I have not checked prices for needles recently. But I do have to say, like, I really like the G-codes. So you can catch me with the G-codes on Monday again. I want to do something real quick. 1 second, and that's not to put anyone on the spot, but it's just because I noticed that it seems as if people just don't want to do any work. So, Leonzo, and I wanted to say I'm not going to put you on the spot, but I just named your name. I just see you ask Mixmaster G the question, what is your YouTube channel name? And do you also live stream on YouTube? Now, I did one simple thing. I just went to youtube.com, and in the search bar, I typed Mixmaster G. And the very first result is Mixmaster G's YouTube channel. Just saying, because I also receive a lot of questions that always make me think like, okay, that would have been one Google search or one YouTube search. So Mixmaster G on YouTube, Mixmaster G on Twitch, and I believe I don't know if all the streams are there, but yesterday when I was the guest on this stream, that stream was also on YouTube. You can actually still see it on Twitch and on YouTube if you want to check out our stream from yesterday. So that's Mixmaster G on Twitch. On Twitch is Mixmaster G NL, as you can see in the chat, and on YouTube it's Mixmaster G. And DJ Heron says, yeah, but I need energy level. So yeah, this is something Mixmaster G and I were talking about yesterday. I don't know what type of music you play, Heron, but for what I've seen with like hip hop, R&B and stuff, those energy levels don't really make a lot of sense. And it's a very subjective thing because, I mean, even if you were to use mixed in key, mix and key can give you an energy level for a track. That does not mean that you personally feel that that track has that energy. So, I mean, that's something I wouldn't want to leave up to software, actually, because I can take like 20 hip hop DJs and we can take 50 tracks and we all rate those tracks according to energy. I can guarantee you're going to get a bunch of different results because every DJ has his own interpretation of how much energy that track has. But maybe you've used it in the past and it worked for you. So if that's the case, like, you know, like, hey, that works for me, then maybe that's the thing. Joel says, what's YouTube? JS Rock says, I was always told Audiphones eat records. Well, no, it's not actually the... I mean, Audiophone has a lot of different needles, and there was one type of needle that was more aggressive. Now, if you just played records, it wasn't really an issue. But if you did a lot of cueing before you let go, or if you did scratching, then those particular needles did like eat your vinyl. But I've used a lot of Audiophone needles in the past, let's say 15 years, and those were not record-eating needles. So I used the S120s for a long time. Those are Audiophone needles made specifically for Serato, for the Serato time code, even though I don't know how much of a difference it makes with their normal ones. I used their Qbert needles for quite some time, and a couple of others as well. Yeah. Godzone, you just bought the G-Codes as well? Yeah, man. Yeah, like I said, you're going to see me rocking those on Monday again. I mean, I absolutely love them. I can't say they're exactly the same as my Shure M447s just because I don't have a good working pair anymore, but they remind me of them a lot. So sonically, they're probably not going to be a match. They probably sound a little bit different, but they do have that same feel. I mean, I feel very comfortable using vinyl with those needles. So hold up. So JS, are they? It's $400 now for a set. Ooh, yeah, that is a lot. Okay, God's Own says if you have PayPal, you can pay in 4 payments. I mean, yeah, I mean it's still that amount of money, but then at least you can spread it. But yeah, that's a lot of money. Yeah, crazy. DJ Shabul, what's going on? Oh, Shabdul, I'm sorry. Found your videos from 6 years ago. Can't stop watching you. All good. I have plenty of videos on the channel on YouTube. So yeah, you can binge. Yeah, hey Ron, sure you can email me. No problem. I mean, if you want to ask questions, you can email me. You can also send me a DM on Instagram. I'm DJ TLM on all social media platforms. DJ TLM TV is the YouTube channel, but if you go to any of the others, like I said, Instagram, Twitter, you name it, it's DJ TLM on all of them. For a set with head shells and everything. Yeah, and you don't have head shells laying around, maybe that, or Maybe the head shells don't cost that much. Otherwise, you could get head shells from a different place. I mean, I'm using them with. Oh, they're not in the room. Different head shells, not their head shells. Hey, they could be old, but I mean, it's not like the head shell has to do a lot. It just holds the cartridge, right? So, um, but then again, if you're gonna get a new set of head shells would be nice though. Hey, that's cool, man. I think I'm on point today. It's not even 9, and I'm already caught up. I like that. So yeah, I still have to take a look at the vinyl for Monday though. I hope I'm gonna find some time to do that and not make it like 100% just grabbing it 5 minutes before I go on. But the vinyl episodes are always a lot of fun to do. Shabdul, when you say jingle, I guess you just mean a drop, right? Like a shout out, right? At least I hope that's what you mean because a jingle would involve like more type of audio and editing, you name it. So if it's just like a shout out, that's no problem. Just send me an email. So one more time for all the people, the email TLM at djtlm.com. And the shout out won't cost you anything. Any advice on spinning vinyl? How do you beat match quickly in your cans? I don't mix a lot inside the headphones, even though during streaming I have done it more, especially because I can't blast the music here. Um, but beyond that, I mean, for me, there's no difference between beat matching with vinyl compared to using anything else. I use the same tactics. Like normally, I personally focus on snares a lot. So when I have a track playing and I'm queuing the next one, I try to see if the snares are lined up because in most of the music I play, the snare is the most constant factor. Kicks can be all over the place. You can have all sorts of patterns. But with most of the hip hop and R&B I play, I'm gonna have that snare on the 2 and 4. So that's the easiest. Now, if you're gonna mix strictly in your cans, then I mean, when you say cans, I assume you're talking about in the headphones, right? What I have done a lot is depending on the mixer. If the mixer allows me to switch between the two decks, I'll just have them in the headphones, listen to the track that's currently playing in the headphones, and then on the snares, I switch to the other deck inside the headphones to see if the snare actually falls on. And then I'll listen to them together again. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I do the same thing I would do when I'm playing with a controller or anything. And Stone says, phase, no expensive needles. I mean, yes, but you cannot play vinyl with phase. And in this case, we're talking about vinyl because JS Rock was also going to play vinyl again. So then phase will not help you. So for me on Monday as well, I have phase here. Phase is not going to work on those bad boys in the back right there. Beyond that, any other gig I do, yes, I have phase with me. That is my go-to. I love it. Uh, I will still bring needles, and I mean during the stream here, I normally use those acrylic plates that I have and have phase on top of it. When I'm DJing in a club, I'll make sure to bring actual time code vinyl. I'm using phase, but as a backup, if anything happens, I have my control vinyl, and then I can just put the needle on and play that way. What do you think about other DJ Hawk says? What do you think about other DJ calling other DJs bedroom DJs? If they are bedroom DJs, then there's nothing wrong with that. And just to be very very clear, a bedroom DJ is not some sort of derogatory term. That's not anything disrespectful. If you're someone who has a DJ set at home and you DJ at home, they call that a bedroom DJ. Now, not everyone will have it in their bedroom. You might have it in your living room, in your kitchen, in your basement, in your garage, whatever. But if you're a DJ who plays at home and doesn't play in clubs, then you're a bedroom DJ. There's nothing wrong with that. I used to be a bedroom DJ, and I had a ton of fun being a bedroom DJ because I started DJing because this seemed like it was going to be a lot of fun. And it turned out it was. That's why I'm still doing it after 28 years. But I was a bedroom DJ. Let's say 99 point whatever percent of us start out as bedroom DJs. That's the starting point. Now I say 99 point whatever percent because you always have there's going to be that one person who's just a friend of people with a lot of power who like organize parties and whatever, who might hook up a friend who doesn't even own a DJ set and never has and never played at home, and they'll allow that person to play. That's a different story. But for the rest of us, that's most of us, we all started with our first set at home being a bedroom DJ. So, yeah, let's say I DJ anywhere. I just hear DJ put DJs down. So I'm not sure about this scenario you're talking about. So is this like that other DJs will call, let's say DJs that play in clubs and they're talking about bedroom DJs in a way as if they're not on the same level, or talk negatively about bedroom DJs? I mean, sure, you're going to have cocky people out there, but for me personally, that's not a thing. I have absolutely, I do not give a single solitary F about what anyone else thinks. So if there would be some DJs out there who want to laugh at other DJs, that says more about their own insecurities, that they need to speak negatively about someone else to feel better. So yeah, I could never see myself doing that because, like I said, we started there. And I have great memories of being a bedroom DJ, and I had a ton of fun doing it. If someone would call me a bedroom DJ right now, wouldn't really make a lot of sense. But I wouldn't even care. Let's say if I stop doing gigs in clubs, and I would just do the streams, and a certain DJ who plays in clubs now would say like, "Look at you, you're only a bedroom DJ now." I could absolutely care less. So yeah, I mean, that's that's the moral of the story for me when it comes to that. And I would never see a bedroom DJ as something negative. Polo says, bring back the Staten 680s. I had a lot of Statens. I had the 500s. I should still have the 680s. Oh, okay. We haven't done this in a while. Some of you who've been in the stream remember, like this can happen a lot when people started to mention things. I always want to look around the studio and grab. I got to do that now. Got to be honest. I don't know what's in here. I think this is the right box. Okay, so by the way, the needle's not on here anymore, but this is actually, okay, my camera is not gonna, I don't have autofocus on, but this right here is actually an S120, but they had two different models. This is the model that you can attach to a normal head shell, and then I also had like the other ones. Let's see if I can find them. This right here is filled with little cables for cartridges, but there's no needles in here. Oh, wait, there's a Stanton in here. Let me see. Stanton 500 Mark II. Oh, okay, Stanton 890. Ortofon Cuberts. But just keep in mind, like, the Cubert doesn't have a needle on it anymore. That 890 is missing a part. That Stanton 500 actually has a needle on it, which looks like it is in perfect condition. Stanton. Oh, the 500 Mark 1. Another 890 without a needle. Qbert. Head shell. JS Rock head shells. You said 680. I'm looking now. Like, didn't I have one of those? Another 500 Mark II. Which one was this then? Oh, that's an 890 with a needle. I thought I had that 680. I only have 890s. That is another orthophone. The classic, but without a needle. The Shure M447. Polo. That's the one I just showed you. So this is the Serato one, but I have this version for the normal head shells, and I also have a version that looks like this. It's the Orthophone S120. All right, let me see if I can find a 680 a little bit later. Tito Morales, salute to you, by the way. Let me first answer some more questions. Love playing vinyl. Compilation records are a must if you want to keep the total crate weight down. Gio, I feel you. I remember my transition point when I started to play digitally. I had my first system, which was Final Scratch. But in the beginning, and I think most of us had that if we made the transition from vinyl, in the beginning, I didn't quite trust the system and using a computer yet. So I would always bring one record bag of vinyl. And it happened to me once that I had to use that. That record bag was filled strictly with compilation records. And I played for hours out of one bag, something I could normally never do. I would always have like 3 to 4 crates. Yes, you can keep your weight down when you use compilation records. A lot. JS Rock, I'm going to ask some more entry-level questions here. Yeah, sure. Just to hear what your thoughts are. How do you get bodies in the door and on the dance floor at a new venue? When I was starting out, I got booked at a new venue. I had no clue how to get people in the door and keep them. I think that is something that's going to be different in different places. When I started out and when I first actually started to play in clubs, it was never the DJ's job to get people in the door. So again, I can only speak for here. Brand new Vestax head shell. I can only speak for here, but that was not a thing. This was never a requirement that I had to like bring people in. Now, keeping them on the dance floor is all about reading your crowd and trying to adjust to that within what you're supposed to do at that venue. But you have to read that crowd. Now, if you have a totally just the wrong crowd in there, then yeah, that's going to be a little bit harder, because if you're supposed to play a certain style of music, but they don't get that crowd in, then you have to first off make sure you check with the promoter, like, hey, what are we going to do? Do you want me to switch styles to please this crowd so that they will come back, but even though this is not the crowd you're looking for? Or do you want me to make a statement and play exactly what you want this club to represent? But I've never been in a position that it was a requirement that I was supposed to get people in. Now, once you get more of a name as a DJ, then it is possible that your name can attract more people. That's a different story. And a lot of DJs will get booked because they have a certain popularity, and that can help to bring people in some cases. But I don't know. I've never been in that situation, but I know in certain places that is the case. So I luckily didn't have to deal with that. Gio says, my only pet peeve over newer DJs is that I have that some have no idea how to string up a set of. Let me read that again. My only pet peeve of newer DJs is that some have no idea how to string up a set or troubleshoot audio. Hey, that will happen. Like for new DJs, when I was new, I probably had every issue happen to me once, and you learn from that experience. Now, of course, DJs now have the advantage that there should be a lot of video information out there that can help them. Not all the way, but help them a lot. When I started, I didn't have DJs online that had hundreds of videos like I do now. So that's different. I'm still looking for more needles. Don't know where some of these others are. It's a mess. I still have one of these. If I had two of these, I would use this. This is a glow-in-the-dark Vestax head shell, but I only have one. If I had two of these, woo, that would be dope. All right. JS Rock says, great bit of advice I got many years ago. Other people's opinions of you are none of your business. Nothing good comes from knowing other people's opinions. Do you, and do what sparks joy and makes you feel happy and creative. That's the thing, you know? That's why I don't care about other people's opinions. First off, most people of those people don't know me and don't affect my life in any way. So their opinion doesn't matter to me. Now, that's a difference between asking for feedback. So if I were to do something and then I would ask somebody with knowledge of that subject for feedback, then yes, I'm going to listen to what they have to say and then I'll care about what they think. But that's a different thing. Diesel Monster, what up? What up? Okay. Mixmaster G says, I see some legit messages being deleted by moderator. I don't even think there's a moderator on. I mean, I only have, I basically have one moderator. That's W, and W's not here. Let me see if I can, in the background, see what's happening. That's on Twitch, right? If there's anything. Is there a fast way to check that? Maybe there's like an auto setting on in Twitch. Twitch experts in the chat, let me know. Is there any quick way to see if there's a setting in Twitch that's doing this? Something with a bot, maybe. A lot of newer DJs just were born into software. Yeah, that's a different thing too. Indeed. More deleted. So Hawk, your message is being deleted. Okay. Yeah. Let me see. Okay, so Jazz, it may be caps. Could you test that for me? Like if you type something in or someone else, if you type with caps, is that the thing that maybe is causing issues? I'm quickly trying to check, but like I need to first see where I need to look. Okay, so the caps is not it. No, because they're coming through for real. All right, let me answer Polo and anyone with a lot of Twitch experience. Where in the settings can I quickly find moderation? Let me see if there's anything on here. Okay, let me see if this works. I think the auto mod was set to a too high level. I just set it back to like level 1. Let's see if that makes a difference, because that is not supposed to be happening. All those deleted things. So the moderator is back to a lower level. Let's see what happens now. Polo says, I just upgraded my Serato laptop to 4 terabyte SSD. That's a lot. I absolutely love the speed and load timing of songs, but now I'm getting latency pops and snaps. Turn everything off in the background. I don't have advice for that. Are you on Mac or Windows computer? Let's start there. So let's see. Anyone else ever had that issue that you um, upgraded your SSD and then started to get issues? And can the SSD be, is that an option that could be causing latency? Mixmaster G, I know you're the Apple man, but still, I mean, if you're running an i7 with 16 gigs of RAM and you got a 4 terabyte SSD in there, I don't see how that could be causing latency, to be honest. DJ 6, all good over here. JS Rock, I didn't see your message. I gotta change my window, but you're already back. The camera is blocking part of the screen, so I didn't see that there was a message there. But like I said, you're already back, so that's okay now. Okay now. Still weird. I hope that setting fixed it now. Okay now. Still weird. I hope that setting fixed it now. Still weird. I hope that setting fixed it now. Still weird. Yeah, Hawk. He said the latency is up to 5, so that's very. Yeah, that's the latency is up to 5, so that's shouldn't that's give you latency issues. That shouldn't that's give you latency issues. That shouldn't that's give you. MuseSync says maybe the controller or mixer setting in Serato. Yeah, says maybe the controller or mixer setting in Serato. I have no idea either. Yeah, I have no idea either. Echoing. Hey, echoing. Hey, echoing. Thank you. I have no idea why OBS all of a sudden decided to turn that other channel on. That is Ghost in the Machine type of stuff. So we are back to normal, but that's weird. Because there's one channel here that's muted. And I have not touched OBS since we started this stream. We've been at it for over an hour, and now all of a sudden that channel turned on. So that is weird, but okay. No, I have no idea when it comes to the latency, to be honest. What could be causing that? It has real latency, man. Cool. Just want to see here in Twitch. Is there a way you can... Is there any way I can see? Let me see. Is there any way I can see if these were like auto deleted or not? I mean, I know it's not a moderator. There's not a moderator on right now. No, don't know. Weird. Really weird. I think it should be solved now, though. I mean, I changed the setting. So I think a while ago, I may have changed a moderator setting to a higher level. And I remember like a month ago during one stream, we had the same issue that there were things being, that messages were being deleted. After that, we didn't have the issue anymore. This is the first time I'm hearing of it, even though I haven't changed settings within that time. So maybe it's one of those days where we have things happen without knowing why. Ah, well, so. Yeah, just leave the caps out just in case. Because maybe that was it. I truly don't know. All right, so Leonzo is connecting with Mixmaster G. All good. And no, I don't see anything else here. Diesel Monster, I feel you. Yep, that is a dope album, mixtape indeed. So you held up that two part, and I was like, wait, I have a tube of parts in my cable bag. Grab my cable bag, found a tube, boom. Other flipping head shell. Hey, there we go. All right. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, and these were actually, these are actually the, oh, these were actually the cases that I used for needles for a while, or they came in this. This is from Shure. And you could like just put these in here. Am I doing it right? You could lock them in here. Where is that? I don't know. They had a way to lock them in. And then you could have the needles in here somehow. But this is from Shure. I have a couple of these laying around. Mulberry, good day to you. Now I got to get all these parts back in here. M447 cartridge. What's this? I think also an M447 cartridge. But yeah, so for those, I'll probably just get some G-code replacement needles. Right now I have the G-code, just the entire set, so cartridge and needle. But since I have a bunch of the M447 cartridges, I can just get like just the G-code replacement needle for that, and then they're going to be working again too. So that's going to be dope, because I do prefer to have two sets. Now, even though I don't do vinyl sets out anymore, so it's not really a thing, being able to have one set in the studio and one set in the DJ bag is always a good look. I prefer to have that. That's not even gonna fit like this. Oh no, I grabbed a bunch from the box, not from this. Got a couple of these brushes, and then we got the small screwdrivers and everything. Yeah, man. Yeah, 6. Those are the old cases indeed. Big PA or Big Pa 77, what up? If music is made for people to hear and buy, why only certain DJs get music that can't be bought or even identified? Okay, you get most music you hear and want, and how so? I mean, I don't know if DJs have a lot of music that can't be bought unless we're talking about the promos. So if I'm taking it back to the vinyl days, then one of the ways you wanted to push a song before you released it is to make sure that people could hear it. So they had to hear it on the radio and in the clubs. So you want to make sure that DJs have a song so they can start actually spreading that song so that people can hear it. And those promos would come out before the actual release. Beyond that, I don't know if DJs have a lot of music that the quote unquote normal crowd can't buy. Now, we might have DJ edits, so edited versions that the normal crowd can't buy. They can only buy the normal song. Beyond that, I don't know. Jace Rock says, you want me to send me that M44 head? Right now, no, I don't think so. Like I said, I'm going to buy myself some of those replacement needles and get myself a nice extra pair of needles ready to go. We are making the real-time music and we are loving it. Congratulations. Okay. Sometimes they might be custom mixes made by that DJ or DJ friend. Can be. not quite sure I'm understanding. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna let Leonzo. I'm gonna let Mixmaster G answer that. I just don't understand why you want to have the YouTube channel first, and then you just went there and asked a question there, but now you're asking for an email. But I'm gonna leave that up to you guys. Um, I think Mixmaster G answers the questions in his AMA, but I don't know. But JS, we'll see. I'm gonna I have to do like a little audit here to see how many things I actually still have, even when it comes to parts. Because at a certain point, I just didn't look back at the M447s anymore. Like mine were just not in good state anymore, or just the needles broke, and I just left it for what it was. Used Ortofons for quite some time. I mean, I remember when they first came out with the news that they were discontinuing the Shore needles, and some people were acting like it was the end of the world, which I never truly understood because there were still brands producing needles. But now um, that we have these replacements, that kind of brings in new possibilities. How many broken pairs of headphones I own? Not too many because I threw them away, but I have broken headphones. In some cases, it would just be the wires. Nowadays, luckily, they make a lot of different headphones where these are detachable. So if anything happens, you can get new ones. Um, I think I've killed. Well, when it comes to like my pro DJ headphones, probably two or three, and it's not even like I just didn't treat them well. It's just wear and tear. Uh, so some at a certain point I was just like, okay, never mind. Especially because by that time I most likely had some new ones anyway. So three or four, at least one of the Sennheiser HD25s. I had a pair of Urban Ears that I used for a long time. I didn't know the brand. These were handed to me at one of the Amsterdam Dance Event editions, and they had like a black with yellow accents, and yellow is like my favorite color. So black with yellow accents, and it was kind of the same shape as the Sennheiser HD25. So I used that for quite a long time. My old Pioneer HDJ 1000, I believe. I mean, I still have that one, but it's not in working condition. And I had the HD 2000 at that time. So, yeah, at least three to four pairs. Diesel Monster says, my friend told me this morning that he ordered a pair of the Technics 50-year anniversary turntables. Just wondering if you were able to check them out. No, I haven't checked them out. I would love a pair of the yellow ones. Man, and I think they had like I think some sort of green that also looked kind of crazy. Um, no, I haven't seen them in person. I've only saw the press kit and the pics. I don't even remember the pricing, but I'm pretty sure it was outlandish. So I'm in no position to buy turntables, and I haven't been in contact with them either to take a look at them. They look nice though. They look nice. Okay, so that's what I mixed master G. That's exactly what I thought. Like you're just like, hey, you're there every Tuesday. People want to ask you questions. You're there for it. You take your time, just like I do. I saw it yesterday, and you will answer everything as well. So every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Central European Time. Gonna take another quick peek to see what actually is in this box. Man, that's also a thing. Like if you look back, I'm so glad they don't do this anymore. Like for my Vestax mixers, you had like the big blocks with this with the plugs. If by any chance you forgot this, it was an issue. Um, yeah, give me all of those new mixers with just the same old Euro cable any day. Like If I go to a venue and bring my mixer, and if by any chance I would forget my power cable, it's going to be very likely that the venue is going to have a similar cable laying around, that makes it a little bit easier. I've been in situations where I had to let people drive back to different cities to go get my special adapter for a mixer or even an audio interface. So I'm glad we don't have to deal with that anymore. Here we have feet for, I think this is for my PDX 2000. Okay. Apparently, there's a pearl white that he ordered. There's some cool looking green one. Yeah, I saw the green one and the yellow one. And the yellow one was like, ooh, I know. I saw it. It was like, okay, that looks very nice. All right, serious question. Kind of want to whisper it to you and not trigger anyone in the chat. It's a legit question. Been struggling. Look, that's gonna be your choice. I don't mind if you do it here, but if you prefer to not do that, if you think it's gonna uh, offend people. I mean, we're living in an era when people are very easily offended. Some people make it a full-time job to act as if everything offends them. Uh, what is going on? I'm pressing on it and I'm not seeing it. Give me a sec. I mean, you can ask new questions, but give me a sec. Why? Have you ever had that before on Twitch? I see the whisper. I click on the icon, then I see the messages, but I click on the message and it's not appearing. Damn. So JS Rock, I can't open it. I don't know why. That's not you because it's not allowing me to open any of the messages. I mean, they're not showing. Why not? That is weird. Maybe it's me, but it's not opening. Okay. Been streaming for a few years now, and I had one scenario play out where I was playing Funky Cole Medina, and someone got offended by a specific part that was very sensitive to the LGBTQIA plus community, aka alphabet people. How do you navigate playing music that may be offensive to some? Like I said, we've gotten to a point where some people make it a full-time job to be offended. I was just telling my moms about this today. Ricky Gervais has a new special out on Netflix. I haven't seen it yet. I just saw a trailer. And in the trailer, he kind of makes fun of, makes fun of female comedians. He starts the show by actually saying like, hey, I'm doing stand-up. And let's be honest, stand-up is not much more than a guy standing here telling jokes. And then automatically, because some people will even be triggered by that, he makes the joke himself by acting as if someone in the audience says sexist because he just said guy. He didn't say it could also be a girl. So he says, yes, I know. Of course, there's also funny female comedians like, and then he doesn't name any. That's the joke. And then he says, look, that's irony. I'm going to be doing that throughout the show. I'll say some things that I don't mean. You're going to laugh because you know that is not the truth, blah, blah. Because, of course, there's funny female comedians out there. Like, and then he doesn't name anyone again. And he says, see, there, I did it again. So already tells you, and if you've seen Ricky Gervais before, you know he makes jokes about a lot of different things, about religion, about people. The first news item I saw today was that within the LGBTQI community, there was offense being taken because he said something about trans people. What makes them special? Because you know a lot of comedians joke about a lot of things. yet they're getting the most offended. So, uh you want to be respectful to everyone, but it's gotten to a certain point, especially if for us DJs, if people are now going to attack the DJs because they play a song that has a part in it that is offensive to them, that shouldn't be your problem as the DJ. That means that that person has to decide then and there, hey, this DJ plays songs that I don't particularly like. They have the right to do that. And then they can make a choice not to watch your streams. But if we as DJs now have to take everything into consideration, especially considering the fact that if you're playing older music that was made in a different era where people could say certain words that are not acceptable for people now, it means that we can no longer play a lot of music. Just imagine, let's not even go into specific words, but there's a lot of words that you can't use now that were used a lot like 10 years ago, even 5 years ago, you know? So does that mean that we as DJs now have to stay current? Like, okay, these words are not socially accepted by part of the community. So that means that as DJs, we can't play it anymore. Because once you get into that, then do we also now have to start looking at the content of every song? Because if we start to look at the content of every song, hey, this song is talking about an illegal activity. Ooh, that's illegal. Now I can't play that anymore. There's not going to be any artistic freedom for artists to talk about all sorts of things anymore then. Yeah. Let me first see if anyone else here has anything else to add. I don't want this to turn into a rant, but I feel you. It kind of bothers me because it seems we're losing a lot of freedom there. I don't even know what's maybe you can send me that in a whisper. I'm trying to think of what could be said in Funky Cold Medina, even though there's probably words or part in there that could be considered offensive because it's insensitive to certain people. But then, yeah, but they only get offended by that, right? But not about the fact that there's like, in general, there was and still is a lot of disrespectful language towards women. Don't hear him about that, but okay. Is the Rode Pod mic becoming a standard for streamers? Lately, I've seen a lot of people using it, so it must be good, especially for the price. I have noticed that I've seen it more now. Now, it's been around for quite some time. I think there are a couple of mics. A lot of people are buying the Shure SM7B because it is a very good microphone. It has a little bit more of that warmer radio sound that you get when you get closer to this microphone. And a lot of people like that. That mic costs, I think, at least twice as much as this one because this one is like 110, 120, built like a freaking tank. I really like the audio you can get from this mic. I think if you take a look at price, bang for your buck, this is way better than like a Shure SM7B. So we're not comparing the audio quality, even though this has good quality. That Shure is going to be better. You can change this in the EQ on this one to make it sound more like that if that is what you're looking for. I could do more in the Rodecaster Pro if I wanted to make changes to the sound as well. But I'm perfectly fine with the way it is right now. I'm just using a standard template for the pod mic. But I have seen this more now. In the beginning, I still saw everyone buying the Shure. And I think over time, more people have now heard this microphone, looked at the price. And let's be honest, like if you want to do, maybe you have a studio, but you want to have a second setup here, or you're starting your first podcast or something. There's already stuff you have to buy. You already have to spend money on an investment. I would not advise anyone to buy the Shures, not because they're not good, they're great microphones, but they cost more. In a lot of cases, when you buy that microphone, you also need to buy a cloud lifter or something similar to boost the signal because they're not loud mics. I plug this into my DJ set. I plug this into my Rodecaster, and I'm perfectly fine with it. I use it like this because I like the look of it. If I want to have less plosives and a little bit, if I'm doing if I'm doing voiceovers, I'll get closer to that. I'll use this. You can get a little bit of a warmer sound. You can already change it again. But again, love this look. That's actually not the mic. That's this cable I'm using. That cable sometimes gives me a little issue. But yeah, I've seen it more as well. And I recommend this mic all the time. I mean, there's plenty of mics that give you good audio, but bang for your buck, I really like this. Mixmaster G says, I remember the phrase in Funky Cole Medina, but then you can't watch Eddie Murphy's Raw neither anymore. Okay, I'm getting a clue of where the line is going, but I still don't remember it. But yeah, but look, that's the thing. Like, then next thing you know, you're gonna have, like, I don't know if Raw or Delirious are on Netflix, but at a certain point you're gonna get people that say that you can't have that because he talks about fags or whatever. Literally, stuff like that. There needs to be context as well, you know. Let's see. Like, if someone called you out in the chat, something you were playing, how would you handle it? I would tell them to just go watch another stream. This is what I'm doing, especially with the live streams. The live stream is where I should be as free as I can be. If I'm playing in a club, even though I should have my freedom, I will always take into consideration that there's more at stake than just myself. Not that I wouldn't just play music, but I might just be a little more careful if need be, even though that's not really an issue here in the Netherlands yet. I know the US is a little bit further along the line with that. But if I'm in my stream, yo, this is my stream. I'm not forcing anyone. You didn't buy a ticket not knowing what to expect. No, you clicked on my stream. And if you don't like it, that's perfectly fine. You can leave. And I think that's going to be better for both of us. I don't need anyone in my chat who's not happy, and no one's forcing them to be there. There we go again. So yeah. I mean, it doesn't bother me, but someone in the chat got all worked up and offended, and I didn't have the focus or time the subject deserved at that moment. And I mean, I honestly would go as far as if I tell a person in the chat, like, hey, then this is not for you. Sorry you don't like it, but there's other channels. If that person then would continue in the chat, I would just block them. Get the F out. This is my stream. Simple as that. You know, again, no one's forcing you to be there, but you're not gonna ruin my my thing either. What's the weather over there? It's 70 here in Washington. It's been different in the last couple of weeks. We had like very sunny days. Today was like just wind and rain. Yeah, it's all over the place. So every time we have sun, I do take advantage to get a little bit of that sun. And I do try to be outside as much as possible, do a lot more walking nowadays. But yeah, it's kind of all over the place. And anytime I hear 70, I do have to, we're on Celsius here. So every time I have to think like 70, how much is that again when it comes to Celsius? I'm still thinking, by the way. I always forget the difference, how much it is. Six says, we're living in a world where people just purposely go out of their way to be trolls on social media. Yes, also. But there's also people making it a full-time sport to be offended. And the media loves to catch on to that and roll with it. And a lot of times you'll hear stories like, oh, this or that person caused controversy. And if you really would take a deeper look, then you're going to find out that it's either like one person who wrote a complaint into a station or a couple of people. But then they make it sound as if thousands of people were standing there with pitchforks like this cannot happen. Yeah, man. So, JS Rock, yeah, I got you. Like, you're struggling how to feel about Kelly. And that is I mean, some of those are tricky. Like, I know in the States, in some places, MJ is like taboo. I'm not rolling with that. If I want to play MJ, I'm playing MJ. But R. Kelly, I don't know. It's a tricky one. It's a tricky one. And the funny thing is, I was looking for tracks to play in my throwback mix for the radio for this weekend, and I was looking at R. Kelly's Summer Bunnies. Am I gonna play it? I'm pretty good at also being able to separate the music from the person. But when you're talking about R. Kelly, his lyrics are all about him just just talking about girls and that we know what type of girls he's talking about. So that's a tricky one. You know, when you got R. Kelly and Summer Bunnies, you know he's talking about he's probably looking at a 17-year-old in his head singing that. That is tricky. So R. Kelly's a tricky one. MJ I'm playing. MJ I'm playing. Yeah, for sure. So I can separate the music from the artist, but to a certain degree. So I feel you on R. Kelly one. Lenny Danger, salute. Andy from London in the building. What up, neighbor? Polo says Kells depends on the crowd. Yeah, and I mean, and we don't need to make that a long story, but it's still so crazy, especially when you look back. Like it was such a. I mean, so many people knew within the scene, and somehow it was just an accepted thing because everyone was still rolling with him, recording tracks with him, even though it basically should have started and ended at that Aaliyah time. But yeah, when live streaming, is it okay to use a mic on the S7 mixer, or do you need to use a USB mic? All my DJ streams, I have my microphone connected straight to my DJ device. So if I'm on the Rev 7, my mic is going into the Rev 7. If I'm on the turntables, my mic is going into the S7, S9, whatever mixer I'm using. So yes, I go straight into the DJ set. That way, I only have one audio source that I need to get into my computer instead of separate sources. Now you can use a USB mic. That definitely works. You can. I just like to keep it as simple as possible. How do you record your mixes on Record Box, and does it record mic audio? I don't record mixes on Record Box. And does it record mic audio? I think that depends on how the mic is connected. I think if you're using a Record Box compatible device and you have a mic connected, I think it records the microphone as well. But I'm not sure because I haven't done it. I keep asking DJs that don't play R. Kelly, does that apply to the songs he wrote and produced for other artists as well? I haven't even given it that much thought because, well, let me put it like this. I'm not going out of my way to look to see what kind of songs he produced. I don't think I really care about that. But when you have him on the song singing about those girls, then it gets a little bit cringy. Um, I think I did play. I played the Gone Till November remix, Wyclef featuring R. Kelly. I played that on last week's mix, but I think R. Kelly only had like 4 lines or whatever in there, and then Wyclef takes over. But I remember I've been listening to a couple of the songs. Like, should I play this one? And he's basically talking about chicks in all of the songs. Now in context, that just feels kind of weird. So yeah, production. That's yeah, no. So it kind of depends. I hardly have it with artists because you do start to thread like a thin line, because then if you're gonna like boycott this artist for this, then what are you gonna do with all of the other artists that do something that's also not okay? But yeah, this is a different thing though, the R. Kelly thing. I was never the biggest 6ix9ine fan, for instance, just to name an artist. I had a couple of the tracks because I liked them production wise. I never really liked him as a rapper. But yeah, didn't I definitely did not play him anymore after that whole thing went down because I don't like him, his message, what he promotes, um, and I didn't really like the music. So in that case, it's just a win for me because nah, I just don't have to hear it anymore. But I want to watch it. I don't want to like. I want to try to separate music and the person as much as possible. Do you beat grid your tracks? If so, how do you deal with those tracks in which the BPM changes constantly? That is something I still haven't done a lot. Now, when I'm preparing music, I do that. Wow. Uh, I have an iPad right under the camera, and I have the Restream chat open on an iPad. Restream just refreshed, and now I'm logged out. Hey, this is one of those days, man. I'm gonna I'm gonna open it on the computer. The annoying thing is, I opened it on the computer now, but now I don't see any of the old messages anymore. But yeah, beat grids. Whenever I load a track, if I'm like preparing music, so for instance, now I'm prepping my music for the radio show that I need to record. Anytime I load a track and I start to set cue points and I see that a grid is off, I set the grid. But I haven't gotten into it that I have tracks that have a tempo change that I'm also like judging the grids for all of that. I have not done that. So yeah, I think we're gonna blame DJ Polo for this one. Ever since you started to talk about that latency, things went wrong here, bro. What is happening here? Hold up. One sec, one sec. Yeah, Diesel Monster. I mean, I feel you. That's the thing. That's the thing. When you start, where does it end, though, man? So it's a tough one. Oh wow, I have not checked Mixcloud. My Mixcloud people, if you are on, my apologies in advance. Let me quickly just see if anyone was there. Okay, it doesn't look like anyone was posting anything there. Okay, okay. Always forget about it. Nah, but Diesel Moss again. I feel you, bro. Like that's the thing I don't like, especially with like not just music, also with people now. Like you have like an older movie and there something is not acceptable now and is being done in that movie and then people want to either have like an edited version. I'm like, nah, that doesn't make sense. Just imagine if you would have something like Django Unchained and they're gonna take out the n-word. That wouldn't make sense. That is what makes the movie that movie. You have people that were seriously like troubled because of Leonardo DiCaprio's use of the word. That is what's needed for that role. That's the context. It's the freaking slavery era, and it made it so much more credible and believable. And he's like Leo's character there is just such an evil bastard. Um, but that's how it's supposed to be. So yeah. There's more examples. I mean, we could talk about this all day. I'm not going to do that. But the one that's still funny to me is how certain people got offended about damn, now I forgot his name. About his name will come to me. Give me a sec. I'm gonna read Mixed Master G's thing. He even uses The acapella of Short Dick Man by 20 Fingers. I'm sure some people get offended. Yeah. I feel you. Robert Downey Jr. That's who I was talking about because of a certain character he plays in one movie. And if people don't understand how that whole movie was totally over the top and how they were actually making a point with his character, if you know the movie I'm talking about. Polo, yeah. So Godzone, yes, indeed. Like it was so obvious, and in the movie, and yes, I'm talking about Tropic Thunder, where you have the black actor who continuously throughout the movie is actually telling him like, dude, this is not okay. But still, some people couldn't see it in the context, and they were like, "Oh, wow, it's blackface." Nah, come on, bro, that's not it. It went way beyond that. So yeah, but it's gotten way worse now. What's the time, by the way? We got 8 minutes. We got 8 minutes on the clock. So again, maybe I missed earlier question, but I have a reopened a chat app, so I'm not seeing the old messages. You never go full retard. Yeah. So again, God's own. Again, one of those things. Um, that word now you can't use that word now, right? And it's not like it's a word that I'm constantly using, but like in that movie and at that time, it made sense. And I think that word should actually just have its own meaning. And it's definitely not referring to people with a mental disability anymore, but whatever. But yeah, you can't say that word anymore. And now you even, because now you have to like almost uh, um, apologize in advance just because some people might get offended because they don't understand the context and that you're quoting that movie. Infamous Mob Deep. What up? What up? No, Mixed Master G. I'm sticking to the clock today. I'm sticking to the clock. At least as close as I can. Man, this chat app. Come on. Okay, got you. Geo finally got a pair of Reloop 8000 Mark IIs. Yeah, they are a lot of fun. They are a lot of fun. I still spin Black Eyed Peas. Let's get it started. That has the phrase "Let's get retarded" at the end. And Leonzo says, when you first started DJing with a DJ controller without a microphone input, how did you handle that? Well, to be honest, when I was using DJ controllers, that was mostly during if I was using them on stage. I've used DJ controllers on stage. That was mostly during live performances. But even if I'm playing at a venue, my microphone is never connected to my mixer. So in that case, I get into the venue. There's a DJ booth. If I'm bringing my own equipment, I set that up. Most of the times, the microphone there. So, no, I'm not. That's not true. Sometimes it is connected to the equipment, but otherwise, it is just connected to the PA system from the club, and we'll fix it that way. So in a venue, if I can't connect it to my own equipment, then it's going to be connected to the PA system in the club. Um, but it hasn't happened a lot. And the controllers that I did have and did play with, a lot of time they actually had a microphone input if I needed it. So I haven't run into that issue a lot. So I'm gonna do this right now because we got like 4 minutes left. I'm going to start by thanking each and every one of you for attending, and I hope it brought you some value. I know it did for me. I have fun being here. As always, I'm here every Wednesday, 8 to 10 Central European Time. You can catch my live vinyl stream on Monday. But before that, you can catch me on Galaxy Radio this weekend, glxy.radio. The URL is on screen. You can catch me there on Saturday and Sunday. That is from 4 to 6 Central European Time. And I have a 2-hour throwback mix there. So, mix in the weekend, live stream on Monday, and then I'm back again with the Q&A on Wednesday. So just to get that out of the way now, and check out Mixmaster G on Tuesday. Diesel Monster says, or you can still play Pushing P because you're innocent until proven guilty. Yeah, man. Hey, Black Reaper. Good to see you anyway. And I mean, the replays will be up, even though it's not the same as being in the live. The replays will be up on all channels, so you can definitely check it. Wait, my sandwich, what up? Just getting in before the end, or were you just chilling in the background? And Lenny Danger, bless up. Yeah, it's almost 10, 8 to 10, 8 to 10. Every week, 8 to 10. So we got 3 minutes left. DJ Six, see you next week. Basically, see all of you next week. If you return, I'm going to be here. And was there anything else I needed to mention? Oh, well, the Stream Elements bot already just dropped it. The throwback mixer, if you want that link to Galaxy Radio, it's right there, glxy.radio. They have an app you can download. You can download the Galaxy app or just go to that website to check it. I'll be posting flyers on my IG, but yeah. Yeah, Mixmaster G, I'm going to make it. It's 8 to 10 today. Wait, my sandwich. I have problems with the notifications. Hey, that can happen, but it's 8 to 10. And if you really, really want to be here, you just put that in your calendar right now. Grab the phone, put it in the calendar with a notification 5 minutes in advance. You get that alert, and then you're good to go. I know some people have issues with the notifications. I don't know how and what exactly is happening there. Don't know. God's own, good to see you again. Yo, so salute to all of you, man. I'm gonna pack all of these head shells and needles again. I'm gonna try to find out how many of the M447 cartridges I actually still have. And Black Reaper, next time on time. I got you. All good. All right, y'all. Jarvis, thanks for being here. See y'all next time. So you know what, Polo? I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to check some of my regulars here on Twitch, and I'm going to follow y'all so I can see if I can catch some of your streams. And Leonzo says the best way to fix the notifications is to unsubscribe and subscribe again. So maybe that can work for you as well. That might be a good tip to try out. Gio, peace. I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to follow some of y'all right now on Twitch. And really quick from Who Ate My Sandwich, everything good out there? Yeah, everything is good over here, for sure. We are all good here. So we got Lenny Danger with the follow. And like I said, I'm going to stop the stream, but I'm going to go through the chat here on Twitch and follow some of y'all right now. So the ones I'm not following. And in the coming weeks, I'm going to try to check out some of your streams if the time matches when I'm awake. All right? Peace, y'all. See y'all next time.